G'day YouTube, welcome back to my channel Bonsai Works. Today what I've been doing is working through all my repotting of my deciduous trees. So I've done a lot of repotting already, completed a lot of my deciduous repotting up to the last few. Now I want to just show these two trees this year. Usually I show every tree, kind of gets dull and boring and repetitive, but I'll show you these two lovely trident maples I've got. Now I think maybe they've been 2 years in these pots. I think the bigger one over there has been longer because I had to do a approach graft, and which worked really well on it, so I didn't repot it I think for a couple of years, that one, so that might need extra work. But repotting, very simple process. Hopefully it doesn't overcomplicate. Hopefully it's not too complex for people, beginners to bonsai. It's not that hard. Repotting is quite good for a tree. It enables new soil, new air pockets to be filled. Just everything's refreshed, and the tree responds really well. These days I don't do my deciduous trees every year. I do it every second year, because I find if I do it every year, the pot isn't actually full of roots yet. Usually every second year it's pretty full. So that's usually my gauge, and that's just through experience. So I pretty much now do my deciduous trees every 2 years. Now I do all of them every 2 years. So I have a year off repotting now. Maybe it's a lazy thing, I'm not sure, but I find I don't need to repot every year. The other thing I do now this time of year is give the tree a little bit of a trim. It's grown out of shape as well, and I like to trim them. I sometimes, if I'm organised enough, I trim them a bit earlier, but some of them are getting out of shape, so it's just coming back and reducing it just a little bit, and just taking off the extra long bits and straight bits, coming back to a bud wherever I can find one. Any long ugly branches I try and remove. So I'm just going to show you the process of what I do, and hopefully it helps. And we'll go through the repotting in a sec, but this is the process I go through. It works well with me. I'm sure it works with everyone else as well. It's also about time, if you've got enough time to do a lot of things. A lot of people don't have time. So I'll just go through. That looks a bit dead to me. So I'm going to cut back to there. Very simple. Give it a little quick trim. Looks much better already. Much more healthier. This tree, you can see, kind of leans quite forward. This year I'm going to try and get it backwards a bit. I think every year I've been trying to pushing it back a little bit more each time. It's just a little bit too forward. If I can get it back a bit more there, I think I'll be happier, and then I can work out all the areas. Alright, so now we get repotting. So what happens is I've got a wire that's tied the tree in, so I'll get rid of that first. It has probably been 2 years because I put the wire over the trunk, and it's a bit of a dug in a little bit, so that means probably been 2 years. Probably. I maybe did it last year. I should check my video feed. I try and pull the wire out if I can. That I've wired it in. Get rid of that. Now this has got a bit of a lip, this pot, so I just go around with my back of my root hook, the back of it. That's my root hook there, 2-prong. Just try and lift it around a little bit around the edges. Feels pretty solid in there, so it's going to take a bit of work. Whatever you got, if you've got a knife that you can dig in and pull up. If you've got a root hook, some sort of other root hook. I know people use old screwdrivers, and they can use that to pry open the tree. Slowly coming up. So this year I'm not going to do repotting videos on all my trees, just these couple. And I've also got another one coming up where I do talk about pots and the perfect pot for the tree. So I've got a couple of trees I want to show you that. So that's all I'm going to do repotting this year. My junipers and pines are not ready yet. It's still a little bit early for them. But I only repot those when I want to change the pot. So here we go. It's coming out slowly. So now I've gone almost all the way around, and now it's starting to really come out pretty good. Almost there. And pretty much I think I should be able to draw it. So there's the pot. It's actually missing the nets because it's stuck inside, it's stuck in the roots. So it's going to go back in that pot. I'm not going to really change the pot. I will try and find those bits. So there they are. That happens very normal for tridents. And nice healthy root system. Really good, strong. And now I do the process. I start with the top myself. Get rid of all these, mainly get rid of a lot of these weeds and try and make sure I pick all the one out. Because I don't want them to I want to get rid of the weeds and the seeds that they causes that. So I go around the top. Work pretty quick because I've done this quite often. I know what I'm looking for. Work as fast as you can. Don't have to be crazy fast. If you're not confident, take your time. Also try and clean the moss of them. Trunk of the moss too. There's lots of moss on it. Because I won't do multiple videos, I'm going to show you the whole process. I'm not going to fast forward anything. I'm just going to show you how long it takes. The only thing I might not show you is when I go over to the hose and spray the roots because I want to clean them up. That's the only thing. It's out of the way, so I want to show you that. I'll show you the entire process. And if you're not talking and showing people on the video, it goes pretty fast. Tridents are also very, very strong and resilient. A great tree for showing you repotting. Great tree for continuous healthy trees. Now you can hear all the crumbling away. That's my mix. It's 80% pumice, 20% pine bark nuggets that you're used to. And I've got like multiple videos on how I make that on my channel, so you shouldn't have any problems finding it. So it's very simple mix. Really open. Look at it just fall away. It's a little wet because we've had a lot of rain the last few days, and this was in the rain, so probably a good idea not to have your trees in the rain when you want to repot. Makes it easier. Sometimes I just get my hand in and start pulling away. Now this old soil, I pretty much these days just throw it in the growing in the garden or where growing beds, it's good soil, but it's not going to be used back in the bonsai mix. I used to try to separate the pumice, but these days it's just too hard. But yeah, it just goes into the growing area, growing garden beds. So you can see nice flat in the middle. I try and get rid of a lot of these roots because we don't want them. Try and leave the soil. Now, if I have got a first trim around, hold the tree up and trim everything. Getting it all in my face, that's alright because it's wet. Sharp scissors, heavy duty. Anything that's really sharp and heavy duty that can just go, you're not pulling at the roots, you're just cutting right through them. Going in my mouth because I'm trying to talk. Alright. That's my first go at it. Look pretty nice and flat. How's that? How's that look? Nice and flat, nice healthy, very quick. This stuff goes in the compost bin, or what do you call it? We've got a green waste bin here that the council picks up, so we can get rid of all that. That goes in there. Now I'm just going to go rinse that with a hose. I'll be back. So I just rinse the top with a jet spray just to get rid of all the fines and stuff. So that's what I'll do now, but you won't see that because it's over there. Bit out of the way. Alright guys, so just to show you the difference, not much you can tell. It's a bit sun washed, unfortunately where I am, but not much there left. So I had a quick look through, nice and clean. ready to go. Okay, I'll put that aside. Go to my pot. Now pretty much it's pretty, I know it's a little bit dirty, but nothing really bad with it. Just get rid of some of the old soil. Now these guys came off. Now these are just little plastic mesh things that have a couple of little tie wires in. Just fix those up and then go smack back bang into the pot. That's just so the soil doesn't drip out. Pretty much. Yeah, I'll just show you how. If you haven't seen this before, I'll just give you a little. Just get a piece of wire, any old wire. I make it into a little hook like this. Straighten these out. I turn this one this way. The turn's on that side, and then the turn's on this side. So if you look at it, it's made two bunny ears. One wire, one straight bits on this side, one straight bits on that side. Put the mesh in the pot, and these go straight through. Straight through, so you can see the bunny ears are on here. Press these down, and then I press these down. So probably see the bunny ears there pressed down, and they're back there. Pretty easy. Now I'll put a tie wire in just to tie the tree up. Now with this tree, I usually go long ways. It doesn't matter. Whatever you think the tree needs. It's just before I had it that way, so I just do that again. Now just get some soil, fresh soil. There it goes. Make a bit of a mound in the middle, just a bit of a mound. Okay. Remember that I'm going to try and tilt this back, so I'm going to have to adjust the soil level. Try and adjust the soil level to compensate. So I'm going to have to try and get the soil higher at the front and lower at the back. So I'm going to try and move that. Now I adjust the soil underneath how I want it to be. Looking much better. Look at that. Now from the side it looks a bit better that way, doesn't it? So just got to figure out how it's all going to fit into the pot. Just going to make sure I got the right front where I like it. Now I start to top up a bit of the soil in different areas, just because I need to push it underneath a little bit. I haven't tied the tree in yet because I'm trying to adjust all these angles first. If I find a bit of weed, I'll get rid of it, of course. I'm liking the angle change. It's much nicer now. Much better, right? So still not directly on top, it's a little bit forward, which is all good. I've got to consider the tree's health as well. So, all right, now I'll just make sure that enough soil's in there, just for the front part because it's higher, before I tie it in. Yeah. Just tie it in at the back. You're not looking at the tie wires, which is good. Cut the excess wire off. Now it's pretty much grab your soil, light it up. So I put a bit extra. The reason is now I need to work the soil in. Now you would have heard of a chopstick, grabbing a chopstick and working all the soil you just put in. Now the thing I do is I use my fingers and my chopstick. So I try and make room with the chopstick and push the soil down with my fingers so I can get right in there. Okay, some bits I can't get my fingers in, but I use the chopstick. So wiggle and wiggle with the chopstick, fingers push in the soil. Keep topping up as required. I think so. That's pretty much done now. I'll give it a little tap. Check for any areas that I missed. I'm pretty much done. Now, I think that's about a 10-15 minute job on that tree. Wouldn't be more than that, especially if you're not talking through the video. The only thing with this tree is I have changed the angle on it, so some of these roots are a little exposed. So what I intend to do is get some moss and cover that up for now, just to give it a bit of protection. But that's about all. Now I thoroughly water the tree, and then I put it on the bench exactly where it used to belong. Nothing different. In full sun, full everything. It's still winter, so it's not like it's going to burn or anything like that. It's starting to warm up a little bit with the sunshine, so I don't expect, a few more weeks and it should start to burst the buds. Exactly where you're going to put it back. So that's the aftercare. Water it and put it exactly where it belongs, back to where on the bench. That's what I'm pretty much going to do, and that's it for that tree. Done. I just realized the video is going to be a bit long, so I might actually just do this tree in one video and do the next tree in the next video. Now, the reason I'm doing these two trees, and I'll give you a little heads up, I'm considering in spring, if these come back really nice and strong, I'm considering selling them. So if you're a follower of my channel and you heard this message, look out for them when they come into spring. And this tree and the other one, considering selling them. So we'll see where I'll go. I've just got too many trees. That's simple answer. Too much to look after, and I don't really sell my tridents very often. So this is pretty rare. These two that I'm going to be considering selling. I haven't said yes, so wait for it. But anyway, that's it for now. Going to water this tree, put it back on the benches, and come back on the next tree in the next video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.